Hi, this is Dave again at AFX Search, Licensed Investigators in Palm Beach, Florida. Another installment in our series on business development for investigators and abstractors. So, got my coffee. Let's shoot some video today. Last week, my colleague Paul Jabe from the American Private Investigator podcast and I were talking about business development and strategies. He suggested a book that he'd read called Blue Ocean Strategy. Took a look at it. Actually, with some really good stuff for investigators. I recommend you take a look at it. I give credit to Paul for suggesting it to me. Also, you may want to check out his podcast. His website is AmericanPrivateInvestigator.com. But it gets into developing business in different areas and not going into where there's already going to be competition. And for example, in the private investigative industry, somebody coming into the industry or somebody looking to expand their business might look at criminal defense, work comp, background checks, that kind of thing, where there's already going to be tons and tons of other competitors in that industry, and the pie is not going to be getting that much bigger. In the title abstracting industry, there will be a lot of competition in the refinance title company, title insurance arena, where there's going to be a lot of abstracting resources put towards that segment already. So what do you do if you're an investigator or an abstractor and you want to expand your business or look into a different area? Well, the idea is to look at new business segments that either don't exist or that are being underserved. For example, for investigators, a couple ideas. Again, these are just thought starters to throw around. Each of you will have your own ideas in the industry. You may want to look at small claims lawsuits. These are clients who have a legal case going on but are not represented by an attorney. A small claims lawsuit may be very well represented by the plaintiff or even the defendant if they had some investigative resources to back them up, to support some of their claims, to demonstrate that the other side maybe took action or didn't take action, to give them some evidence they can present in court. It's almost certain that their opposing party will not have those resources. So it might help them really prevail over the other side when all the opposing party has are their own arguments without backed up by evidence. Another area of opportunity is business intelligence. Companies looking to maybe offset a competitor, maybe look to do an acquisition, and maybe look to see what markets are available to them, or even see if their vendors or other people in the support realm are performing as well as they possibly could. What about title abstractors? Well, there's a whole world of opportunity. We've talked about this before in foreclosures, mineral rights, or what we call non-traditional search types. We have a whole series of videos on non-traditional title searches where there's a huge amount of opportunity for title abstractors to get into other areas that are not as well represented by competitors. Commercial property searching is even one of those areas. Less than 10% of the title abstractors we talk to every week will do commercial property searching. It's a huge opportunity. It's hard to find good abstractors to do commercial. And there may be other types of clients outside that normal realtor MLS title company closing industry segment that will be good opportunities for growth of title abstracting. A couple examples of how this works. The company Samsung, they make the top phones on the market right now, the most popular phones. I don't know if they're the best, but they're the most popular. They got me to switch over from Apple. Well, Samsung Manufacturing makes all the cell phones, started out as a dried fish company. They imported and produced dried fish in Asia. How far did they change from dried fish to other products? At some point they got into consumer electronics. Televisions was their first product, and then from there into cell phones. Why is that important? Well, they saw that there were opportunities, might not have even been in their market. There's certainly some path from dried fish to cell phones. It wasn't like a leapfrog. There was some incremental path to doing that. If they had remained a dried fish company, where would Samsung be now? What is the market today for dried fish? Not sure. Another example, Wells Fargo. Right now they're a bank. Started out as a stagecoach company in the 1800s, running stagecoaches with horses from point to point. During that realm, there were people who needed to store valuable items along the way. They didn't want to carry their bag of gold from the California gold rush on them the whole time. So they had depots where they would store valuables, secured, locked up, And those became the stage stops that were secure. So they started providing security in stage stops. It wasn't a stretch from there to go into banking and having places where banking operations can be performed, maybe even lending out some of those assets in a purely banking method. So from stagecoach to storage to security to banking, that's their path. What if Wells Fargo had stayed in the stagecoach industry? Probably wouldn't be the kind of lender they are now or the kind of bank they are. So with regard to investigations and title abstracting, the way that those industries look today may be far different from where they are 10 years from now, 20 years from now, even 5 years from now. Think about investigations. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, were there resources, webinars, training on online, internet, social media investigations? In the abstracting title industry, were there any serious volume of business inputs from some of these alternate businesses, such as cell tower searches? So keep that in mind. Don't be locked into your current business list of products that you provide. I hate to use the phrase, but think outside the box, so I won't say it more than once. I was going to hold up a box and put you over here, but I don't like to use cliches. But seriously, look at what else is out there. Add those on incrementally. Don't switch from one thing to another, but there's a lot of other potential growth opportunities outside of what is traditionally known as either one of those or really any business that you might be in.